Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I have back on again Isabella Chiarini. She has a brand new acoustic version of her single called Gotta Be, and I'm very excited to talk to her all about it. Isabella, what's up? How have you been?
I've been good. How are you?
I'm doing well over here. I can't complain. It is absolutely pouring outside right now, which is a new thing for Los Angeles. We're not used to the rain, but
Interesting.
it's a little calming at the same time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, can't complain. What's the weather up by you?
Cold. Very cold.
Cold. In the midst of winter, if I had to guess.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Covered in snow.
That was a few weeks ago.
Okay.
The snow's now melting here, but it's still
Ah,
freezing.
okay. That's the danger zone when it turns into ice and it's a whole thing, and then
Oh
yada
yeah.
yada. Well, I can confidently say this to me feels like a winter song. And I'm just going to point it out before we get started for anyone that doesn't know. Gotta Be is one of your most streamed singles, the original version. And
Yes.
the original version compared to this acoustic version is night and day, truly, but in the best way possible. And I kind of want to, I mean, I could talk about it all day, but I want to kick it to you here. I guess what was the inspiration, behind taking what I guess is like a pretty straightforward pop single, stripping it back and like just adding so many cool, beautiful elements to it?
Yeah. So when I made this song, like when I was writing the lyrics initially, I was really debating on whether I wanted to make it like a faster pop song or a slow song because it could easily work both ways.
Yeah.
So when I released it originally, I wanted to do a more happier version, but then I'm listening to it and I'm like, I feel like it would like really do well as a slow song. So I'm like, I feel like I could do both. And that's why,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where my mind kind of went with it. So pretty much right after I released the original version of it, I was like, okay, I have to we have to get a piano on this. Like we have to just like strip it back and we just have to do it right away because now it's in my head that I have to do it.
Right.
So it was like pretty much right after I released it, I was like, yep, we're doing it, and went off from there.
That's amazing. Yeah, because like I said, I've listened back to back to the original and the acoustic, and it's honestly difficult to find or to pick a favorite, but I find like the utility of both the songs can be used in different ways. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm cold and freezing, so I want to listen to like acoustic music and kind of bundle up to it. Whereas like as soon as the summer months come out, I want to get energy back in my body and get
Exactly.
going on something
Yeah.
like this. But I think even from a production standpoint, whenever I listen, not even to like reimaginings of original songs, but just I guess acoustic or more folksy songs,
Yeah.
they sound a little bit too stripped back or bare bones. But the way
Hmm.
that you produce this and the way that like you've still managed to fill the sound is really impressive.
Thank you.
Take me through the recording process of like, what should we take away? What should we add? How do we do this?
So I basically was like wanted to start from the beginning. Like I was
Okay.
we're gonna just look at the lyrics. We're gonna like the melody stayed pretty much the same. I was like, at the
Yeah.
melody, I don't want to change. Um, like maybe holding things out a little bit here and there just to make it a more in that style. But other than that, I didn't want to change it. So I was like, we're just gonna take everything away. We're gonna keep it in the original key and just add piano and see where it kind of goes from there. So we did the piano. It was really like just simple chords, and then I was like, and then to fill it out, I was like, okay, we need to add strings, a little bit of
Yeah.
background vocals because I didn't want it to sound like it was just like a live version of it. Because when you do it live,
It
obviously,
doesn't.
yeah. Because when you do it live, it was just like okay, piano and then done. Like you can't
Right.
really, you know what I mean? So I was like, I wanted to sound like a full, like an almost basically a new song that
And
we
it
put
does,
together.
which is the best part.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a great point. A lot of people that do reimaginings of their songs or other songs, they're like, I'm going to strip it back. I'm going to make it sound like, you're in the room with me. However, this is very intimate and raw sounding, yet you really have those production elements that like fill the space.
Yeah.
There's those strings and the pianos, and you know that you're listening to a different song, but it still has that same melody.
Mhm.
One point, though, listening to both like multiple times, was your vocals somehow come more even to life. And I don't know, I assume that was a choice to be like, as far as the mixing goes,
Mhm.
like we're going to crank that up because the
Yeah.
pop version, not to say that you're not very much in the mix, but there's so much else happening sonically and instrumentally that you don't get buried, but your voice sort of isn't the star of the show. Whereas
Mhm.
like on this song, it's very much in the front.
Yeah. Well, I find that a lot with slower music is it's not so much focused on the music behind you. They want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really wanted in this song too, but I didn't want it to be like this crazy, like I have to do all these runs and blah blah blah. I didn't like
Right, right, right.
I wanted it to be very like just I wanted you to feel the emotion rather than just like being impressed by like whatever I could do kind of idea. Like I wanted it
Yeah.
to feel like you're listening to it and you can feel what I'm feeling, or you can relate to the lyrics because you're actually listening to the lyrics and not just all this stuff.
No, I fully agree. I think there's a fine line of doing something like that where you don't want to overdo it, but you also don't want to underdo it because it's
Yeah,
like this is my song. Um,
exactly.
nailed it, completely nailed it, and
Thank you.
I'd be honest with you otherwise. About how long did it take you to rework this?
Honestly, not that long. Like when we went in to record it, it was almost simpler than the original because I already knew what it sounded like. I didn't
Well,
like it,
yeah, you
so
didn't
that
have to
kind of
rewrite the lyrics and do the parts
exactly.
that take the longest. But I mean, not to put words in your mouth, but I feel like maybe there'd be an unnecessary pressure to live up to the original, even though, like the bones of the song are written and everything is out there. Um, a lot of people are like, well, maybe there wasn't enough content for a new song and she just wanted to rework this. But to me, this feels like something completely fresh. And if
Yeah.
you hadn't, and again, obviously having been familiar with the original, listening about halfway through, you forget that this came from something else. That's how
Yeah.
like new it feels.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really what I wanted. Like the pressure is always a little bit there, especially like even just releasing in general. Like you always kind of want to step up from what you last put out. You always want it to be at
yeah,
least a little bit better. So when it came to this, a lot of people like that were just listening to the original were telling me you should slow this down. You should slow this down. So that I think that added a little bit more pressure to me than the song already being released because I was like, okay, if this many people are telling me that I need to slow it down, then obviously there's something here, and obviously I need to make something that they're gonna like and that lived up to their
sure.
expectations of it. So
Right.
hopefully this does.
I think it does. I think it does. This might be an impossible question, but I think on the lyrical front, when you listen to a song and you actually make the connections within the words, sometimes like what you're singing about can lend itself to a certain style or genre of music. I want to hear from you, like just the tone of the song and what it's about. Like, is there a preference for which one?
I don't know if there's a preference. I think it's just kind of mood, like whatever you're kind of in the mood for. If you want to dance and stuff,
Nice.
and you want to be a little bit have more energy, then you listen to the first one. If you're more sad or you're in whatever phase of life in a little bit of a more upset mood, then you listen to the sad one.
Yeah,
But I think they're both like it's still pop. Both like both of them are still pop.
sure.
But when I listen to like the more sad songs, I tend to always gravitate towards like Adele, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever I make slower music, a lot of my inspiration comes from her, Adele, all that kind of stuff, because I that's what I listen to. And then there's a Canadian artist, I think her name is Fauzia. I think I've mentioned her before in
Think so.
but my inspiration for this one came more from her than Adele this time because she actually did this before. She did a lot of like she had a lot of fast tracks, and then she made like a whole EP of it was like 4 songs that she just completely like
Nice.
stripped them right back. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take inspiration from that and do something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, not to talk too much of the future, but do you see that potentially happening of reworking what you've done in the past? Because in my opinion, it's kind of the way to go. But again, like I'm sure you've been working on other things at the same time.
Yeah, I always say like whenever I make something, whatever comes out of it is meant to come out of it. If I make something that I feel like I can slow it down or speed it up, then I will. And this song just kind of lended itself to that. But if it happens again in the future, then it happens again. If not, then I'll just keep kind of making new things, whatever I can hear, whatever other I always take inspiration and feedback from everybody else. So if people are telling me that I need to do something, obviously they're hearing it and that's what they want to hear. So I
Sure.
want to give people also what they want to hear.
Right. No, I completely agree. Now, another hypothetical question is there a reason that this version came second and wasn't like the primary?
Because I felt that a lot of my music didn't have like a lot of my music was already slow, and a lot of my music was sad and all that kind of stuff, and I wanted to for the new year give a change.
Yeah,
And because the lyrics, I liked the difference between the lyrics being more sad and the music being more upbeat. I liked that contrast.
totally.
So that's why I decided to release the fast one first and give something a little bit different.
Makes complete sense. I totally get it. No, I think it also depends like what you're working on at the time. And like we've actually talked about this in the past on like not pigeonholing yourself into one sound and kind of
Yeah,
expanding your horizons and showing people, yeah, I don't just make sad acoustic music. I can do this as well.
right.
But again, not to like completely blow up your ego, but I think a song like this really does show off your vocal range. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not so much the mixing of like, well, if you crank up the vocals in the song, then you really force them to listen. It's like me as a non-biased listener, I want to listen to it like that because I find that your lyrics and like your messaging is very important. And if
yeah,
you turn it up a little bit, it subconsciously forces you to listen to it like
right.
that. I think it's really important that
Exactly.
your message serves the song, but also the tone sort of fits up in the right way.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's tough, but you've done it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess, not to like keep harping on it, but in terms of the recording process and putting this whole thing together and sort of doing a reimagining, you've said that it was an easier process, correct?
Yes.
But again, I know that the pressure is there to like keep the quality up and do that whole thing.
Mhm.
Um, do you ever find that it like I don't know how to say this without being weird. Like not diminishes the other songs, but like now you have two recordings of this and then you have your other songs, but you want people to focus on your past work. It's
Mhm.
like how do you lead them in the direction of continuing to listen?
Whenever, like, obviously, whenever somebody releases new music, they're always focused on the new song, the new song, the new song.
Sure.
But whenever I promote new music, I never really just post the song on my like actual Instagram. Like, obviously, the stories and all that kind of stuff is about the
Yeah.
song, and you post. But whenever I have like links to anything, it's always like my general Spotify or my general Apple, like that kind of stuff, so
Right.
that the song is there, but everything else is also there. So if they fall down the rabbit hole of listening to everything else,
I
it's
mean
a happy
that's the goal.
yeah, it's a happy accident at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Completely understand. Nice. Well, listen, we spoke, I think you were my last interview of 2025, and you're definitely like, we're talking in mid-February at this point. For you as an independent artist, how do you even begin to map out a year? Or do you map it out month by month? Like, what does that process look like?
I don't really map out, but I have like a general goal of like I wanna try and release this much. I want to try and do this. I want to try and do that this year. But as an independent, sometimes things just happen out of the blue. Like you get opportunities that come and
Right.
go because you're doing it all yourself. So it kind of forces me to kind of work harder to get these things, and
Yeah.
then from there, I just let everything fall into place.
I love that. And then, okay, then how does the creation process happen? Because I know that you as an artist, it's not like, okay, one song's out, I'm going to turn my brain off for a second and give it a month. Like there's always a melody popping in, there's always something happening. How do you manage that? And I guess how do you even begin to time it out for the rest of whatever the year might be?
So normally when I release, I always have like I have my song, but then my next song, I already have my session booked for my songwriting, or I already have something like
Yes.
it's always like, okay, this is released. I need to get on another one. I need to book a session. I need to do this, do that. So whatever ideas pop into my head, a lot of the time it's more like song titles for me. I get a lot of like I'll look
Oh,
at something and I'll like just write it down, and then we can create song titles and go from there. Um, just to create like a general idea. Even if we don't
yeah.
exactly use that song title, it's an idea to go off from. So when I go into these sessions, I just say, "Here's my notes app. Take what take what you think is cool, and then we'll kind of
Okay.
write from there and hope for the best."
Sure. No, I I love that. and again, I've had so many conversations with people that give me like an insight into the writing process and blah blah blah, but like I think you might be the first person that goes based off a song title, and I love that so much because it kind of implores this possibility of this could be anything.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's kind of insane to me, but I respect it at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, well, because whenever I write, like I always have an idea of where I want it to go, but if
Sure.
it goes somewhere else, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, 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 we can't do that. Because if it went there
Yeah.
for a reason. So that's
Right.
why I like to give the song titles, because then it's a little bit more open and we can create something really cool without being so in a box.
Completely. Are there any like surprises or things that you're excited about that you can potentially mention or like anything along those lines?
Um, yeah, so I can't fully mention, but I'm working
Yeah,
on
cool.
an audition for something kind of cool right now. That's my main focus at the moment, and like it's an audition tape. So, but I can't say
Sweet.
what
Yeah,
for.
cool, cool.
But so
Totally
that's kind
fine.
of my main focus after this song. And then hopefully, if I get it, then that's my 2026. But if not, then we move on and we do something else.
You
But
keep trucking.
exactly.
That's what it is. What about personally? You know, we're always working on our professional careers and how to advance ourselves and all that stuff, but like I think I've probably mentioned this before, but I don't think 99% of the people realize like you as an independent artist, it's not your full-time job. You know what I'm saying? You have a life outside of it. You have family and friends relationships to keep up and all that stuff. How do you kind of balance like work and life and try to have fun all without, throwing it back on a music career?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my personal life fuels the creative side. So whatever kind of happens in my personal life, I can spin it and use it.
Yeah,
So whenever I'm just with friends or I'm just hanging out, like I'm always thinking about, which maybe it's not a good thing. I'm always thinking about, oh, what could I be working on? What am I working on that this
I
can
get
do?
it.
But they kind of fuel each other because then like when I have my friends and then I'm releasing something, the support is there, all that kind of stuff. So they always
Sure.
kind of fuel each other. But personal life is just I'm very simple. I go to work, I hang out with my friends, but all that kind of stuff. I make music, very
Sick.
outside of the independent artist. I'm a very normal person. Not very
Okay,
interesting.
I get it. I get it. No, but I think it's so important to actually live life and not focus 100% on it. One, to avoid burnout, but
Yeah,
also just like, you know how you can listen to artist music and be like, these lyrics were either written by AI because of some like manufactured story that clearly never happened. But the
yeah,
most genuine things lyrically always come through when people that are actually out there living life. That's
yeah.
when the magic happens. That's when the lyrics matter. And when, so many people are going to listen to your music and not have any idea who you are as a person. They may
Right.
not see you talk about your music, but they're going to listen to it and they're going to make a connection to it. And
Exactly.
like each thing that you put together is like a little diary piece or like a little, opening the door of who you are as a person. If
Mhm.
you're not out there living your life doing whatever it is you do, then it just comes off as disingenuine and it's not
Mhm.
fun for like a legitimate music listener.
Exactly.
You got to get out there and keep doing it. I get it.
Yeah, that's what I always say. My lyrics, like, it's always related to me or something that happened to maybe somebody I know. That way, whenever I'm singing it, it feels more I'm connected to it, and that way, the person listening can connect to it in their own way.
Right. It comes through in the performance.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you have anything along those lines potentially planned? Like,
Yes, well, I'm starting to write again, probably like next week. So,
okay,
you know, booking those sessions now. So, new songs definitely in the works, audition in the works. So that's my month so far.
sweet. Okay, cool. No, I love that. I love that. I do have a couple more for you though. In the grand scheme of music, I think you're always taking influences from artists that you pick up on whatever playlist it is or just come into your life. You've mentioned a couple. Um, how do you work with that without not necessarily going for imitation, but homage? Like, what is the fine line between taking that influence and not, I guess, directly ripping it off?
Yeah. Well, when I think I'm pretty good at taking inspiration because I'm very conscious about that, trying not to completely copy because
Yeah,
it's when you take bigger artists like that, it's really easy for somebody to just be like, well, that sounds exactly like Adele.
right.
Like it's really easy for somebody to just pick it out. So whenever I'm writing, I'm always trying to make sure, okay, this is slow like Adele, but do I sound like Adele here? Like I'm always kind of conscious of that. Like
Sure,
with the original, I took a lot of inspiration from The Weeknd, a lot of his music. So I was like, okay, that's where all those like the drum beat ever, that's where that all
sure.
came from. But I was like, okay, I referenced Take My Breath, and I was like, okay, we're gonna play Take My Breath, and then we're gonna play my song. I'm like, if this sounds similar, then we
And
need to
I
change.
want to make sure that
Yeah.
this is, yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
we're putting it. I literally did that for myself. I put it in my headphones and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play Take My Breath and then mine. If this sounds really similar, then we need to
Yeah,
change.
yeah, cool.
So
I mean, not to take away from you, never mind the fact that that entire album is like one big sample. So he's taking it from
yeah,
somewhere else.
I was gonna say it came
But
from somewhere.
yeah, no, it all came from like city pop music and like these artists from 40, 50 years ago that it's like no one will notice, they'll think it's me, but
Yeah,
I'm going to rework it in a way. Yeah, but when you're working with, millions of producers and blah blah blah, I get it.
yeah,
Besides the point. On your end, the fact that sorry, the fact that no, you actually uh consciously make the effort to listen to it back and forth and not just trust yourself in the process because
yeah,
subconsciously, yeah, there are only so many chord structures in the world to where it's like, oh, maybe I did accidentally do that. And
yeah.
yeah, I get it. And like again, major respect to you for actually giving a shit and not like
Thank
just
you.
completely ripping it off. I guess my last thing here for you would be either in this song or just generally, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think is important to share?
Um, I don't think so. My whole thing with making music is obviously like I want to obviously enjoy my music that I make, but it's always
Yeah,
in the end about the listener. Whatever however they can connect to my music is the most important. Whatever they're going through, whatever they're doing in their life, if they can listen to my music and feel whatever they want to feel, that's my end goal. Is so for
yeah,
somebody to listen and be able to connect to it in whatever way. So
right.
if that's happening on somebody else's end, then I feel like I completed my job in
Hell
that song.
yeah.
So that's always my main objective. So when it comes to this song, especially because now it's slowed down, you can really listen to it and listen to the lyrics and everything. That's my main goal for this song is for somebody to listen to and be like, wow, I can relate to this, or I can relate to her in some way.
Totally. And again, I respect that you're kind of a selfless music creator. No, because a lot of people make music for themselves and a lot of people make music to just to please others. But I do find that you found a middle ground here that is really important for, again, avoiding burnout, but also like kind of fueling inspiration for others.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it goes back to people listen to music to feel something, whether it's lyrically, because a lot of people don't listen to lyrics, or just like the general structure of the song. I find that the music that you make overall is kind of inspiring to the sense where like there's emotion in it. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to know you and you don't need to know me, but your music speaks on a level that like I don't know. There's just something very vulnerable about it. And I don't know. That's why I like it. And that's why I keep coming back to it
Thank you.
personally. You're very welcome. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, but before I do so, please let me plug the music for you. If you've made it this far and you didn't know, I'm speaking with Isabella Chiarini. The song is gotta be acoustic version, but if you're not listening to the original version and then to the acoustic version, then like what are you doing? It doesn't matter the order. Just listen to both to really get like the full extent of what she's done here. And as always, Isabel, it's such a pleasure getting to talk to you and kind of getting these updates. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It's great.
You're very welcome. All right. Have an amazing rest of your day. Stay warm
Thank
and
you.
talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.